Coming up next, he's a pastor who says he wants to help others.
Our troubles are over now.
But he does more harm than good.
He took advantage of people that were already hurting.
And steals millions from those in need.
He scammed a lot of good people.
This Memorial Day, go inside the critically acclaimed House of Cards.
I'm here to tell you, praise God, we're going to another level. Somebody shout glory. Woo!
Pastor Abraham Kennard travels the nation spreading the word of the Lord.
I'm telling you, God is a good God.
And pushing a program that takes a little faith, but pledges to give a lot of money.
Tonight we're getting ready to release $2.8 million in funding. Can you say amen?
In 2001, Kennard says his company, Network International Investment Corporation, can provide financial assistance to predominantly small African-American churches.
Well, the pitch was that a lot of you don't have money enough so that you can be full-time ministers, and I can help you with that. My program will enable you to tend to your ministry full-time.
Kennard claims he is backed by a group of wealthy investors who have blessed him with $28 million to give out.
You can have the finances you need to do ministry.
The plan is simple. Money from Kennard's investors will be doled out to needy churches that pay a small fee.
For every $3,000 you give NIIC, you get a $500,000 sum of money to do what you will.
And you can use it to pay your employees, buy vehicles for your church, and build the church that you've been dreaming of.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Pastor Donald Downing runs Heart to Heart Ministries in Fort Washington, Maryland.
Any pastor needs his own church. You know, we need to own our own building.
In the fall of 2001, Downing dreams of building a new church and hopes Abraham Kennard is the answer to his prayers.
He said, no, I can't promise you the moon, but I can promise you this. This is what we're going to do, but you got to have faith. He said, but if you don't have faith, don't come in.
Downing pulls together $9,000.
I borrowed $6,000, but I had $3,000 of my own money.
It's not an easy payment, but Downing hopes the small sacrifice now will pay off later.
I saw people getting paid. That's what broke the camel's back for me.
Kennard promises Downing that in 90 days, the $9,000 investment will return $1.5 million. That's a staggering 16,000% return.
Oh, that's been good. Oh, good to me. I was so excited. I went out and told everybody, our troubles are over now. Finally, God has answered my prayer. My.
I've got a notion that you're getting a promotion.
Word of the program travels quickly, making its way to Pastor William Toney in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, it came across like it was a helping hand situation that, this organization was going to help churches. It was a person that was concerned about ministry, concerned about church.
Toney scrapes $3,000 together. He's promised he'll receive $500,000 in return, money he'll use to extend his outreach.
My church's vision is if you change a person's mindset, God can take them from where they are to who they are. And to be able to, have the funding to help us empower that community, it was a great idea. It was a great thing to be done.
And Kennard sweetens the deal by offering incentives to pastors who recruit other churches.
For every church you brought in, you would receive $500. They believed in Mr. Kennard. They went out and sold the program as Mr. Kennard had explained it.
If you sit back and talk to 3 or 4 people a day and you get 2 or 3 to join, that's not a bad day. That's $1,500 a day. That's not a bad day at all. So a lot of pastors got involved and they went and they worked.
Pastors spread the word, and in less than a year, hundreds of new churches sign on and send Kennard cash. In return, they are hoping for big paydays.
Get you out of debt is just one thing, baby. Wait till you get you $1 million in your pocket.
The plan appears to be working. In the spring of 2002, at meetings across the country, Kennard hands out check after check after check, many in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It was almost like a church service. They had singing groups,
Hands on the sick and I
testimonies.
I'm in here still believing miracles.
And you were there, you watching them give people checks.
To make his vision.
But it turns out the oversized checks are underfunded and just for show. Kennard is actually paying out just a fraction of what he has promised.
Not getting the whole lump sum, you can't go out and get a new building with $1,900 a week.
Still, to struggling churches, a portion of the money is proof that the program works.
For a small ministry, $1,900, that's almost $8,000 a month. That is a big blessing.
This was obviously done to keep them happy, or at least keep them satisfied that there was really some money out there, so that they would go out and continue to recruit other pastors, and they could say, certainly, obviously, I've gotten some money, so I think it's legitimate.
Kennard's plan seems to be a blessing from above, but behind the scenes, the operation is crumbling. When American greed returns, the faith of the pastors is put to the test.
Your gut feelings begin to kick in and say, okay, something is not right.
I believe the church ought to have so much faith and have gifts that they'll never be in debt.
It's like a godsend to small African-American churches across the country. Abraham Kennard delivers a financial program too good to turn down. In exchange for a small fee, Kennard offers churches up to $3 million. In meetings around the country, Kennard puts on a good show, handing out checks with great fanfare.
I want to tell you tonight we thank God for you.
But in reality, only a handful of churches have been paid.
We had waited like for 6 months or 8 months. I still have hope of getting paid. Not this time, but my time is coming around again in another few months.
And some pastors are starting to ask questions.
And the $1 million question was, all of the time, do you have the money?
Somebody asked, I just want to know when the big money gonna fall. It's already done failed.
Kennard starts to feel the heat, but it seems he has an answer for everything.
He did the blame game. He always had somebody else was the reason why the money wasn't getting there within the 90 days that he stated we'd have it.
That's why it's going to take us a little time. We can do it. It's just a matter of putting this information in the computer.
Kennard insists the program is strong and urges church leaders to keep the faith.
He would encourage us that it's coming, and he made it sound convincing that you need to get in now.
All your bills will be took care of.
In June of 2002, Kennard announces a meeting in Orlando, Florida, and promises everyone will get paid.
Florida is going to light up because God has chosen Florida.
So many people at great expense flew to Orlando or got there any way they could, and a lot of these folks didn't have the funds to easily do that, but they wanted to make sure they were there for the payout.
On July 26th, Kennard takes the stage.
Now, I know many of you anticipate walking across the stage tonight with your check.
Then he drops a bombshell. He says there won't be any payouts.
But you won't be tonight walking across the stage with your check.
The whole place was in pandemonium, and many preachers were crying, many were angry.
How many of you judging me right now? If you judging me, you judge